guys, so I'm just going to show you how you can apply a fold over elastic waist opening to a pair of panties. This is the same method whether it's a waist opening or a leg opening, so if that is what you are doing, then you're in the right place. So depending on what pattern you're doing will be what length you cut your fold over elastic to. If you are doing one of my patterns, it will tell you exactly the length to cut the fold over elastic. You are not left guessing. So normally on my patterns it's about 5 centimeters shorter than the waist opening, and I normally just eyeball that. So I've cut a piece of fold over elastic to the right length already, so now I've got to decide if I want to use the shiny side or the matte side. You can use either on fold over elastic, so I think I'm going to use the matte side on this occasion. So I'm going to place the two ends together, right sides together, and the matte side of the elastic has just become the right side because that's the side that I want to see. So now I'm just going to sew a little row of straight stitches just straight across the elastic to create a loop. So to ensure that we get the elastic evenly sewn around the waist opening without any guesswork, is divide the elastic into quarters. Okay, so I'm going to start my first pin at the join in the elastic, and I recommend that you do that too. So then it's just a case of folding it to get sort of halfway point, and then half again to get your quarters. There we are. So now we need to do the same with the waist opening. So to make this super easy, I'm just going to put a pin in either side at the side seam because that is the halfway point. And a pin at the centre front. And at the centre back. So there we are, we've got the elastic and the waist opening both divided into quarters. So I've got the join in the elastic sitting along where the side seam is. If we're going to have seams, they might as well all be together. So the raw edge of the fabric is sitting along the fold line in the elastic. And this is the wrong side of the elastic, so the side that I don't want to see, to the back of the fabric. So I'm going to sew along the edge of the fabric, not going over the fabric onto the elastic, with a 3-step zigzag stitch. So that's a width of 3.5 and a length of 2.5. So as I sew, I'm going to stretch the elastic so that the pin in the elastic sits level with the pin on the fabric. So I'm going to stretch, so I'm taking care not to stretch the fabric as well. So I'm just stretching the elastic down to the same length. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is just do a couple of stitches just to secure this in place before we start pulling anything. So now I'm going to pull the elastic down so the pins match, and then I'm just going to sew along the edge. So there we are, I've got to the first pin and they are in the same place, so I'm going to take those both out before I sew over them. So I'm going to do the same again. So I'm just making sure that I'm pushing my side seam in the right direction. So I'm pulling the pin in the elastic to the length of the fabric to where the next pin is, which is at the side seam, and I'm just going to carry on sewing. So there we are, got to the second lot of pins, I'm taking those out and we're doing the same again. So matching the pin in the elastic to the pin on the fabric by stretching the elastic, keeping the edge of the fabric along the fold line in the elastic. Last lot of pins, taking those out, stretching. So the elastic is the same length of the fabric for this last little bit. Just going to hold that in place, around about there. Stretch. going to do a couple of stitches to secure the end like usual and pull it out. So there we are. Not stretched out at all, you can see, and that's because we stretched the elastic to match the fabric, so it's sort of pulling the fabric in rather than all being sort of stretched out. So now I'm just trimming back the fabric to the zigzag stitches, just so we get a nice clean fold line. This is quite an important step you don't want to miss, because you don't want it to sort of, it can look quite wobbly underneath if it's not quite right. So once that's done, you want to fold the elastic down to the right side, and then you're going to top stitch along the top of the elastic. So instead of pulling the elastic towards you, this time you want to kind of guide it through from behind the foot. You can sort of stretch it a little bit, but don't stretch this way. So there we are, beautifully applied fold over elastic, evenly sewn, and not wobbly. It's as simple as that.